Hello class. You may have noticed there is no opening for this, which is scary. And there will probably be very limited editing because I want to try to get something posted very quickly. As you may not know, it's August 4 today? 4? And I believe tomorrow, August 5, is the premiere, the release of Suicide Squad. See, my background picture here is topical. It's Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. The Evil Wife was able to secure passes to a pre-screening, which she was very happy about.
Yes.
And she thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Yes.
She enjoyed it. Okay? You see where this is going? The Evil Prof has the audacity to have not thoroughly enjoyed this movie. And in fact, I hated it. I believe the Evil Wife looked at me at the end and I just went, oh god, that sucked. To be fair, I was not expecting a lot going in. It did have some bright points. I found myself not offended by it, just terribly unimpressed and not actually terribly entertained, which is my standard for movies. I did not like this movie. The critics don't like this movie, but I like bad movies. See, this is Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Just when you thought it was safe to be dead. I like crappy movies. This is a crappy movie. There is no two ways around it. I don't think I've seen any of the Oscar-winning movies in the last... ever?
Decade?
At least 10 years. Hey, look at this. It's almost like I staged this. Here's my tablet, which you can't really see the screen. Let's see. 2015, Spotlight. Nope. 2014, Birdman. Nope. 2013, 12 Years a Slave. Nope. 2012, Argo. Nope. 2011, The Artist. Nope. The King's Speech. Nope. The Hurt Locker. Nope. Slumdog Millionaire. Nope. No Country for Old Men, nope. The Departed, nope. Crash, nope. $1 Million Baby, nope. Okay, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. I have seen that. Assuming I'm looking at the right wiki. Oh, I've seen Chicago.
Yes.
I've not seen Beautiful Mind. Gladiator 1? Holy shit.
Back on topic, please.
I am not a moviegoer who enjoys intellectual... Well, I shouldn't say intellectual, but who enjoys good cinema. I watch my fair share of crap. So, I did not enjoy Suicide Squad, and it really boils down to kind of two perspectives. This will probably be a two-part video because I realize that there's actually a lot I want to rant about. Although, again, minimal editing. The two perspectives are, and I'll deal with one or the other. One is just from a movie point of view, I guess, whether or not I was entertained. And the second one is from a geek point of view. Now, from the movie point of view, I'm a casual moviegoer. I don't go to the show a lot. I have to be enthralled by a trailer to be willing to go see the movie. I don't care what critics say, although critics are panning this, as I understand it. Hey, look, it's Clobber. But honestly, I was probably going to go see this movie because the Evil Wife wanted to see it. Yep. The fact that we were able to go see it for nothing, it looks like Grimlock's head, was why we went last night and why I can film this video now. The rant about being the comic book nerd, I think, maybe deserves its own part and its own little, caveat preface. By the way, spoiler alert, I know we're 4 minutes in, but I don't think I've spoiled anything yet.
Not yet.
And I'm going to try not to, but if something slips, you've been warned. So, I guess from a movie point of view, now again, I'm not a movie critic. I couldn't tell you about cinematography and lighting and that kind of nonsense. For me, it more or less comes down to suspension of disbelief and whether or not I'd want to watch the movie again. It is really what it all boils down to for the Evil Prof. And I don't need to see this movie again. I would have actually gotten up and walked out. If I was watching it on Netflix, I would have changed it to something else. If I was watching on TV, do they show movies on TV anymore? I would have changed it. The Evil Wife might want to buy this. on Blu-ray when it comes out, but I won't be rushing out to do so. So I guess, again, just from a movie perspective, and I guess this movie is getting shit on pretty hard by the critics, and some people are responding, oh, you don't like comic book movies and all that kind of stuff. I like comic book movies. I refuse to call this one a superhero movie. I would call it a comic book movie. They're not your typical heroes. That's because most of them aren't.
They're villains.
They're villains. So if you don't know the general story about the Suicide Squad, it's about a bitchin' woman called Amanda Waller who assembles a group of basically villains, all lost cause kind of types, to take on an impossible mission where there's a good chance they're all going to die, but it's okay if they all die because they basically cease to exist. It's kind of like Mission Impossible, except Tom Cruise, we've got Margot Robbie, which actually I know who I'd rather see. Yeah, I'll let you figure that out. But the movie itself, now I did read one review, and actually it was a positive review. They're saying, it was a visual feast. It was amazing to look at. It was so brightly colored compared to the other ones. And I'm assuming they mean that in the literal sense. Yes, Harley Quinn, as you can see here, is brightly colored. Joker has bright green hair, and I mean bright green hair. But after that, it's pretty dingy and dark, like...
Normal world.
I was even beyond normal world, like Zack Snyder was involved. I've seen Watchmen. I've seen Dawn of the Dead, the remake, which was inferior to the original, although entertaining enough. But I wouldn't say it was a visual tour de force or anything. It was, kiddies, no one cares what you think. I've actually found at times it was just hard to see what was going on. The action sequences had a lot of cuts in it, which I have a great dislike for. It means... They couldn't do the action sequences very well, I guess, or they didn't have the right stunt people for it.
They dragged some things out and compressed others.
The first act where they were assembling the Suicide Squad or Task Force X was good. I enjoyed that part. That's where you can see where it was colorful and interesting and neat, and that was good. After that, it was kind of a generic action flick. A lot of the characters were... I don't know if I keep thinking of the word thin, but not very well fleshed out. They weren't there for much. A lot of them were just one-liners. Now, granted, it's an ensemble piece, and, it's really about Harley Quinn and Deadshot. So, okay, fair enough. But the suspension of disbelief, I just had a very hard time with. It felt thin, contrived at times. Contrived, yeah, I'm going to say that, and just generally not terribly entertaining. Apparently, they did reshoots to make it funnier because of Deadpool, which I'd like to point out. They tout this as the non-superhero comic book movie, but Deadpool beat you to it. Sorry. And so if they did reshoots to make the movie funnier, they should have shot more.
They failed hard.
Because it was not terribly funny. And I find lots of things that aren't funny, so I find lots of things funny. And I didn't laugh a whole lot during this movie.
I did.
Of course you did. But I just... At no time did I feel any of the characters were in any real danger. So there was no drama there.
No.
Some of it felt very long. There's this one moment with Deadshot where he's trying to decide whether to do the heroic thing. Can I say that?
Yeah.
And he has to think about it. And they're dragging this out. And there's this bit with his daughter. And I'm like, really? Really? I just... yeah, just get on with it. Like,
Yeah.
You're just adding minutes at this point. Just get her done. Come on, move along. In terms of performances, since I'm running out of time for my first half, Margot Robbie killed it as Harley Quinn. I don't know if I agree with how she looked, even though I warmed up to it. Spot on. Amanda Waller, spot on. Will Smith was very good at playing Will Smith dressed as Deadshot.
Yep.
Which, I mean, if you like Will Smith, that's awesome. And I don't dislike Will Smith, but he might as well have been one of the Men in Black, because there was really no difference. So we're going to take a quick cut, and I'm going to get into the nerd side of things, I think. And I'm back. And I'm going to get rid of this one because I can't transform it when I've been drinking and trying to rant about something, so maybe we'll grab something else to fiddle with. This is Ape Face. What? Everyone likes Ape Face, because he's got the face of an ape, see? So, again, we went over just kind of like the general movie stuff, and again, I'm not a major film critic. I like a movie or I don't. I like bad movies. I'm not into the aughts or any of that kind of nonsense. I think more of my dislike for this movie just came from being a comic book geek. Now, having said that, I'm not as much of a comic book geek as I used to. I am more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy. We're talking about a 52-48 split in favor of Marvel. I like a lot of DC stuff. A lot of my exposure to DC stuff has been through their animated world. So Batman, the animated series, and the shows that came after that. Young Justice. I watched some Teen Titans, the DC animated movies. You get the drill. So that's where a lot of my background and how I perceive a lot of these characters comes from. And to be fair, I think that is similar for a lot of people. You know, there's a lot more people who watch Batman the animated series every Saturday morning than people who went out and bought a Batman comic once a month. So, at any rate. So speaking of the Bat, let's start there.
Do we have to?
Yes. Batman was in it enough. I've read some complaints that Batman should have been in it more. Well, here's the trick. It's not a Batman movie. No. Batman is connected to the Suicide Squad by virtue of being connected to some of the individual characters. He is an antagonist for Harley Quinn. He's an antagonist for Deadshot.
Croc.
Actually, well, in the animated series, which is where I best know it, he's an antagonist for Killer Croc here, who we'll get to in a little bit. And actually, the one thing I did like is that they kind of portrayed the Bat from the villain's perspective. That was neat. I am not on Team Batfleck, which I'm pretty sure is that commercial for insurance, right? Batfleck. And I thought, okay, well, he sucks as Batman, but maybe he's good as Bruce Wayne. Wrong there, too. So, yeah, I mean, he's no Val Kilmer. What can I say? I know. See, that was a joke. Shut it. Best Batman's Kevin Conroy. But he was in it enough. He was in it enough. He didn't need to be in it a lot. He showed up. He did his thing, and so that was fine. We should talk about the Joker. Everyone's talking about how great Jared Leto is in this and how he was scary and how he stayed in character. Jabber, jabber, jabber. Okay, fair enough. And Jared Leto did a good job, I do think, but I don't like the way Joker was written in that movie. Again, my view on the Joker goes back to the animated series. It's been influenced by Dark Knight. So I expect the Joker to be very intelligent and sometimes almost philosophical, able to pull off these amazing capers to do whatever. And he just wasn't that. And now I hated the look of the Joker when I first saw it. I'm like, I just thought he was a greasy-looking gangbanger or gangster. I don't know. I was not impressed. And honestly, the movie didn't change that opinion. My opinion on Harley Quinn changed as the movie went on. My opinion on Joker did not. He's just a sleazeball with anger management issues. He could have just been Charlie Sheen. I'm sorry. See what I did there? So, yeah, and he was in it too much. Yeah. It is my opinion, and just my opinion, that he was in it for two reasons. One, the name, Joker, because everyone knows Joker. Most of the losers on the Suicide Squad, most people don't know. That's why Harley Quinn is on the Suicide Squad now. And two, it just seems like a lot of the movie was about Harley Quinn, and to be fair, Joker and Harley Quinn are very much intertwined. But it seems like you can't write a Harley Quinn movie without the Joker in it. Or, a Harley Quinn story. I think he should have been in there because he's relevant to Harley Quinn's background. But I think he had too much time, and some people are saying it wasn't enough. But no, I think he was in there more than enough. Thank you very much. Rick Flag, I think his name is Rick. Yep. He was a total waste. He was a puss. That's all there's to say about it.
Pointless.
I just disliked him so much. in that movie. And again, my perception of him is he's supposed to be badass. He's not meta. He's good at kicking ass, and he did not do enough of it, in my opinion. Boomerang, again, another total waste. He should have been the comic relief. He should have had a little bit of dignity, which he really didn't. Total waste. Slipknot, who I had never heard of, and most of you probably haven't either. He's in it to further a plot point, and you'll know it when you see it. In some respects, this movie does follow a lot of the things that they have shown in previous iterations. So that was actually kind of nice. Amanda Waller was spot on.
Oh my
Just
God.
about perfect. Just about perfect. I mentioned Will Smith as Deadshot, and I don't know a whole lot about Deadshot, just from the animated series I've seen him in, or the movies or whatever. And I warmed up to him, but I didn't like him that much. One person I will say, though, Katana was amazing. To me, she was the best part of the whole movie. I would watch a movie just about her. There's backstory there, and she was badass, and she kicked all kinds of ass, and I really, really liked her, and I'd like to see more of her. I think I've already mentioned Harley Quinn enough, but she was good. And again, Margot Robbie was awesome as Harley Quinn, and as Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
Spot on.
Just perfect casting for that. El Diablo, I didn't know a whole lot about going in, and I don't really know a whole lot about more now, and don't need to. He was very one-sided. Like, he was very two-dimensional, not a lot to him. I'm trying to think, did I forget anybody?
Boomerang.
I mentioned Boomerang. He was a waste. Croc. Killer Croc was a total waste. Now, apparently, from what I've read on the internets, it wasn't supposed to be Killer Croc. It was supposed to be King Shark. I think I got the name right. I might have it wrong. Who serves basically the same purpose as Killer Croc. Underwater, big, scary, bites people. You've got it covered, just like Walking Dead. Killer Croc should have been huge to me. They should have cast like a pro wrestler. For the amount of acting the poor sucker and all the makeup did. So I don't know if he was a good actor or not, because he says like 3 things.
Oh.
They should have hired a bodybuilder, a pro wrestler. And again, not to slam on the guy who played this character. They just didn't do anything with him, which is too bad, because I do like Killer Croc, but I would have liked it being King Shark. And apparently it wasn't King Shark because the writer, director, which is the same person, I think, somebody was uncomfortable having a total CGI character, which is why we didn't get King Shark, which is too bad. I think that, did I cover everybody?
Enchantress?
Enchantress, thank you.
Oh.
She had so much potential in this movie.
Oh.
She had the potential to be pants-shitting scary, and she was not at all. And that made me sad, because she was totally wasted on this movie. She could, they could have done so much more with her, which made me sad. So yeah, I guess from a comic nerd perspective, it's just that the characterizations, the way they presented a lot of these characters, is just not my ideal of them, which again is just personal opinion, but unfortunately that's all really a rant is about. It's just, I didn't like it, and those were the reasons why. They also wasted opportunities. You know what? Instead of having Will Smith playing Will Smith dressed up as Deadshot, they should have taken Will Smith playing Will Smith dressed up as Deathstroke. Because they feature the daughter. The daughter is in it. Spoiler alert. And then, you could have had him as Slade Wilson, and then you could have had her as Rose. And that would have been interesting. There was one really good cameo. I was not expecting it. It was not terribly surprising, but it was really, really good. They wasted other opportunities. Again, I'm sorry if I'm giving too much away, but they didn't mention the phrase or word Cadmus. And again, brilliant opportunity there, totally missed, especially when they're trying to do world building. Let's face it, this is all just to get us to Justice League, which I won't complain about, because that's what a lot of the original Marvel movies were about. It's just that Marvel did it well, or at least better. And I just, again, wasted opportunities on some of these things for world building that could have been done better. And finally, for the mid-credit scene, I'm told that is a coda. I don't know if that's right or not. I won't give anything away, because that's the big thing. You gotta wait till the end to see it. But all I can say is that Mr. Robert Downey Jr. and Sammy Jackson did it better.
Every damn time.
Yes! Anyways, go catch some Pokemon. Class is dismissed.